Not everyone is comfortable with the concept of a speech introduction. Those who give and wonder if they could do it, they say too much or not enough, and an inaccurate or unexpected introduction can fluster even the most prepared speaker. Speech introductions, however, are a very necessary part of the Toastmaster meeting, evidenced every single week. If you'll turn to page 2, a well-crafted introduction. Well-crafted introductions can enhance a speech presentation by the following means. Number one, they make a transition. When members of the club get up to speak, they are about to take on a new role. In essence, they are shifting gears, and a great speech introduction will help the audience and the speaker shift gears. They also establish the proper mindset. Audience members are more likely to appreciate a speech if they're given some sort of information, biographical and otherwise. A skillful introduction will do this and set the right tone. It also gives the speaker authority. There's magic, there's a perceived magic and power to any speaker that's introduced and is on the stage at a podium or a lectern. You probably have noticed that in Toastmaster speech contest, the only thing you hear is the speaker's name and the title of the speech. It's name, title of speech, and name. Why do they do this? They do this to keep neutrality with the contest judges. No other information doesn't give the speaker any sense of authority, and do that on purpose. Conversely, the information we put in for a normal introduction helps to build that power. Now, if you'll turn to the next page, how is this done? Here are some components of an exceptionally well-crafted introduction. Primary consideration is 3 points. The speaker's name. Always say the speaker's name distinctly. Say it in the beginning and then especially at the end of the introduction. When you're the Toastmaster or an MC of any event, read the names first, and if it's a name, the spelling doesn't look right, make sure you know the pronunciation beforehand. If you have to, write it out phonetically. Second, the speaker's topic. Relate the speaker's credentials and background information, then explain how the topic will benefit the audience. And lastly, the title of the speech. The title of the speech is typically mentioned at the very end of the introduction, and like the speaker's name, it needs to be given special emphasis. Now, if you are introducing a fellow Toastmaster at a Toastmaster meeting, here's some other components of a well-crafted introduction. Speech assignment. Will the speaker be working from the Competent Communicator Manual or one of the other advanced manuals? What is the assignment number? And what is the name of that speech or project? Speech objectives. What are the assignment's main objectives? Which we cover in here with sort of a pre-introduction. It's covered, but if it's not, let's say if you're at another club or if you're visiting and you're asked to step in, look like you're prepared, know what you're doing, and get these components in the introduction. And the delivery time, if it hasn't been mentioned already, needs to be in the speech. If you'll turn to the next page, a few more do's. When you're up here, smile. Create a friendly environment for the speaker and the audience. Think about what approach, what manner would make you feel appreciated and welcome, and then deliver that for the audience. Above all, keep the introduction short and devoid of what we call flowery prose. The reason why the little anecdote about William Jennings Bryan is in the Toastmaster International's introduction that they prepare for this. It's because it's a true story. I'm sure we've all been at meetings where the introductions went so long and it created such an autobiography of the speaker that by the time the introduction was ready, you were ready to go home. That's something that you don't want to do. Keep them 30 to 45 seconds, get to the meat of those components, set it up for the speaker. Longer speeches may require up to a 2-minute introduction, but for Toastmaster speeches, 30 to 45 seconds is about perfect. I started realizing this just by intuition and my own experiences. As an evaluator, I once created a speech introduction that says, Andy is becoming a fan of short introductions. Please welcome Toastmaster Andy. Here's some definite don'ts. Next page, please. Remember the speech introduction's primary purpose. Lead the listener and the audience into the speaker's presentation. Unless you have a reputation for a verbosity, this is not the time to embellish. Don't upstage the speaker, number one. Now, Toastmasters is our learning laboratory. It's where we make mistakes. I was a speaker. I once had a Toastmaster so enthralled with a little anecdote that I had in my introduction that she used that as part of her Toastmaster introduction. She said, and Andy just reminded me that. So I looked at her and just smiled, and afterwards I said, by the way, you don't ever want to take a speaker's joke ahead of time and use it as part of your introduction, because by the time she read it the second time, it was a little flat. Don't upstage the speaker. Remember, it's about them, not you when you're making the introduction. Don't steal the speaker's thunder. The introduction should invite the anticipation of the upcoming speech. Don't reveal any of the details. And don't surprise the speaker. Never include information that's going to embarrass them. Unless you're introducing someone like Mitch. Don't praise the speaker's skills. Oh, he's so great, he's fantastic. Unless you're introducing me. Don't rely on cliches. And don't say the speaker's name until the very last moment. You've got to get the speaker's name there at the beginning and then at the last moment. Now remember, speakers are responsible also. You need to provide the introduction and put these components in. It's part of our learning, becoming better public speakers. Lectern etiquette. Remember, writing a good introduction is only half the job. The other half includes a relaxed, professional delivery that continues to create a friendly atmosphere between yourself and the audience. One of the most common mistakes introducers make is to turn away from the audience and speak directly to the speaker by making the introduction. We've all seen it, so you've got to kind of fight that. Introductions are only the beginning. Once the speech is concluded and the introduction is back at the lectern, you can add about 30 seconds of summary content if you like, but always make sure that you greet the speaker with a final handshake. Thank you very much.